everybody, and welcome back to another fantasy football. After the international break, we are back once more with the Premier League games, and did okay this week actually. 50 points, average was 56, the highest 146. And what started off quite disastrously actually, basically came back and redeemed itself in the end. You can see from here the main two guys who kind of saved the day, I guess, were Salah and I think it's pronounced Gross from Brighton. So Salah I brought in place of Hazard, which is quite funny because Hazard had like a storming game, which we'll go into in a bit, I guess. But Salah also did pretty well. He got 2 goals. He's got 2 goals in the last game as well, and also a clean sheet. So he did well. I don't know if Hazard got more than him. Let me just have a look quickly because I am intrigued to know actually. Hazard's not even in the top midfielders. Let's sort by few midfielders. He must be somewhere around here, surely. Hazard, view information. He got 18, so yes, he got 2 points. So he could have got 2 extra points if I had just kept in Hazard, which is quite funny. But to be honest with you, Salah, it was, I guess, the kind of smart choice because Hazard's been a little bit off and on this season, and Salah seems to have been performing really well in his last few games. You can see the last 4 games he's done very well. So, it made sense to me anyway. So I guess starting from the back, De Gea getting 3 points, Man United not getting the clean sheet unfortunately, but I think De Gea still did okay. I guess he's had a little bit of a shaky time the last couple of games. I guess he got 9 there, but the one against Huddersfield 4-3, still I think by far the best goalkeeper. If we actually go to transfers, he is the highest goalkeeper, so that's good. Kolasinac doing very well again, getting clean sheet. He's done pretty well. Actually, I look at that now, he hasn't done that well. Those 14 points are really good for me, but I guess the ones aren't so good. But I think he's been a pretty good defender for me, 58 points. Where does that put him in the defenders? Okay, puts him like 6th, which is pretty good actually. Hegazi of West Brom. West Brom have just been absolutely pitiful, so he was somebody who did very well early on and has just fallen off, so he is going to get transferred out without a doubt. And Gomez just didn't play. After playing 6 games in a row, he just didn't play. I don't even think he was injured or anything, so that was frustrating. Decor, I think he was actually voted man of the match for the game against West Ham, but he didn't get an assist or goal score or anything like that, so he has been playing very well, and he has done pretty well this season, 55 points, which puts him, doesn't put him in, it puts him down there. Richarlison as well, he was fantastic. Actually, I think Richarlison was man of the match, but I know Decor played pretty well as well, but he was phenomenal. We'll talk about him in a bit. I might put him into my team as well. Ali had a terrible time. He had an awful game, and kind of looking at this, he has been very inconsistent this season. 3 goals, 2 assists is not really what you would expect from Dele Alli, so I think he's going to get transferred out. Maybe we'll put in Richarlison, I don't know. But Gross here has done very well, 68 points. He has been one of the key factors behind Brighton doing well this season, so he's done well. Harry Kane, another nightmare. He's had a shocking last 3 games, to be fair. Well, didn't even play in the Man United game, did he, because he was injured. Didn't play very well against Palace. Didn't play well against Arsenal. And I know a certain Chelsea striker who is playing very well, so we'll have a little look and play around. Abraham's injured. Hasn't done very well, and Swansea are a team who are really on the dive, so he might well get transferred out. We'll see how it's going. But Lukaku got back to scoring ways after 4 games without a goal, so happy with that. Can't complain. So yeah, 50 points is okay actually. We're roughly around about halfway, which is okay, nothing special. So I guess let's talk about the games and what went on. Some shockers this week. Well, just one actually. Really, actually, there's a couple of games that shocked me a little bit. But Arsenal Spurs, fair play to Arsenal, totally deserved this. Spurs did not play very well at all, which is interesting because Spurs have just not been playing very well when it comes to playing against the top 6 sides, I guess. There were, Arsenal goals technically, like, they were very lucky with the refereeing decisions, so we say, but overall I think they deserve to win. And that's kind of shocking. Like, I think Spurs went into that as clear favourites, really, with their positions. But when you look at them in the league, yes, I'll take your cookies. There's only 1 point in between them now. Kind of shocking. So maybe Arsenal are coming back a little bit now, but it's some tough competition there. Arsenal only 4 points off second when you think about it. So yeah, Mustafi, Sanchez with a goal. Good goals, to be fair. And Arsenal I just thought played well, but Spurs really disappointed with that. We'll see who they've got coming up next, but yeah, that was something. But fair play to Arsenal. I give Arsenal a lot of stick, and I give Arsenal, as a football club and their fans, a lot of stick, but they would have enjoyed that, I'm sure, and it was a decent performance from them. So it makes you wonder why they can't do it every week, though, doesn't it? Really. The thing I think about Arsenal is they do really well when the pressure's not on them. So everybody's kind of forgotten about them. They had that terrible start and they dropped down, and then everyone stopped talking about them because it was, they were around here and it didn't really matter, and people were just talking about Chelsea and Man United and Man City and Tottenham and Liverpool and the other teams down the bottom and Everton and stuff like that. People were talking about that. They weren't talking about Arsenal, and Arsenal crept back up because they just don't seem to do well under pressure. So it'll be interesting if they do manage to get back up there. How well they do. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a couple of seasons ago when Leicester won the league. People forget Arsenal finished second then because they were out of it for long periods. But Tottenham kind of ballsed it up, and Arsenal just snuck back in there and got second. Fantastic win for Bournemouth. Despite being a man down, I think they were 2-0 up when they were a man down, I think. And then they went on to win 4-0. Callum Wilson hat-trick. Great to see him hat-trick. If you don't know the story of Callum Wilson, when he was a very important player in Bournemouth getting promoted, and when they got into Premier League, he then, I can't remember what he did, but he was out for a season and a half with might have been a cruciate or something like that. And he'd been there top goal scorer, and everybody was like, oh, we want to see what this guy's like in the Premier League, and he never got his chance, and now hopefully he's going to get his chance. Reminds me a little bit of Glenn Murray. Glenn Murray kind of did the same thing with Palace. Never got that chance, and you never know how things might have been if he had. But there were really good finishes from him, I thought. Again, I think more for a touch lucky with some refereeing decisions. It certainly deserved to be a red card for Francis. But it was a fantastic goal from Harry Arter as well, I thought, who is, I think, steadily becoming one of those really good, solid midfielders who I wouldn't be surprised if a bigger club might come in for him at some point. But I'd like to see Callum Wilson go on and score a few more goals because I think he's a good player. And maybe now he's got his chance, he can go on. But uncharacteristically, a poor performance from Huddersfield. I do think they've been in great form recently. Lost one. So they've got 6 points from the last 5 games. They're only 6 points away from relegation. It's still really early to tell, but they're not safe by any chance, and maybe some good results. Maybe some people think they were, but they're not. Burnley getting a solid Burnley 2-0 against Swansea. Swansea are really struggling, by the way. They're the second bottom, and Burnley Arsenal up next, which will be fascinating. But yeah, just real solid Burnley like performance. Some good goals scored as well. I thought Ashley Barnes took his goal really well. And I mean, what can you say about Burnley really, other than they just work as a team? They are the definition of being greater than the sum of their parts. Yeah, really good team. Probably something Swansea aspire to be, but they're not getting there at all, are they? And then Crystal Palace v Everton. So I was hoping Palace could pick up a win here because Everton are in disarray, absolute disarray. Palace went 1-0 up through MacArthur. Good finish. MacArthur's third goal of the season, which makes him, I think, our top goal scorer. Maybe Zaha's also got 3. I don't know. I can't remember. He has. And that's, to be fair, in the Premier League. I guess Zaha's our top goal scorer. MacArthur got 2 in the Cup, which is why it's not registering there in the Carling Cup. And then Everton brought one back, but it was very controversial because Niasse. I mean, my view on this is always probably going to be a bit biased because I'm a Crystal Palace fan, but there was obviously contact on him in the box, but without doubt he exaggerated how much contact there was. Since then he has been retroactively punished for basically simulation, I guess, or like over reacting kind of thing. They got a penalty from it. You could argue all day long, I think, about whether or not it should have been a penalty. It was a penalty, and Leighton Baines scored it. Zaha came back with a decent goal as well. Again, he's going to be so important for us. And Niasse ended up scoring after really terrible defending for Palace. Like, we should have done better. We should have won this game without a doubt. Really, really disappointing. But if you'd have asked me at the beginning of the season to do draw with Everton, I would have been like, yeah, that's solid. It's just that Everton are so poor at the minute that we should really have taken advantage of that. But we got some more games coming up where we should hopefully win and claw some points back. Everton still without a manager. They want Marco Silva from Watford, and frankly, you can blame them. I don't think they're going to get him though. I'd be surprised if they did, unless they pay a lot of money. But I don't know who else they're going to get. I feel like they sacked Koeman with no idea who they wanted to replace him. At least West Ham knew who they wanted. At least Palace knew who they wanted. You might not be totally happy with the appointments, but they got the manager in quickly. With Everton, it must have been about 4 games now that Unsworth's been in charge of, and they're not getting any better really. They did win their game against Watford quite late on, but defeats there, draws. I think they're going to be safe. I don't think you're going to be looking at Everton getting relegated. I think there will be worse teams than them, who will go down. But I'd worry for the future of the club because they spent a lot of money, and I think they would have been aiming for a top 8 finish minimum. And how does that affect because the other thing is the players they brought in, are they just Koeman's players? Will the new manager want to come in and spend another 100 million on new players? And it's a difficult one. As a Palace fan, I kind of seen it a little bit, I guess, with Ronald Koeman, not Ronald Koeman, Frank de Boer, I guess, another Dutch manager, where it's like, okay, we're going to change the philosophy, we're going to back this manager, but then, the results haven't gone the way, okay, get rid, go back to the old ways. Clearly there was transfer issues with Everton. They couldn't get a striker. Always seems to be the story of Everton's history, that they couldn't get that striker. They had Lukaku, who was their striker that they managed to get after years of struggling, I guess. Or they had Rooney, I guess, before then. Obviously lost him. And now they're back in a position where they just don't seem to have a striker. But we'll see. We'll see whoever they get in. It could be interesting. If it is Marco Silva, that would be interesting as well. Leicester v Man City. Man Man City winning 2-0. Kevin De Bruyne's goal was fantastic. If you get a chance to see it, you should do. In fact, actually, Jesus' goal was fantastic. It was some amazing, passing play by Man City. David Silva, majestic as always, leaving Jesus with just a tap in. But De Bruyne's goal, which came from a counter-attack where Leicester hit the post, I think, was incredible. But Man City just absolutely rampant at the minute. You can see 34 points, 11 wins, 1 draw, no losses. I mean, I was thinking about this today, maybe a lot of you are too young to remember the Invincibles of Arsenal, when Arsenal went the entire season without defeat, and that was a fantastic team. That was a really great team. But are we going to see that again with Man City? The difference, I think, between that Arsenal side and the Man City side now is the defence was so much better at that Arsenal side. I don't know if, and that's the thing, I think Man City are going to concede a few goals, but the amount they're scoring is scary stuff. 40 goals in 12 games is terrifying. They are ripping people to shreds. I said before that it's early days, and we shouldn't get too carried away with Man City because they had a good start last season, fell away, but they're 8 points clear of second place after 12 games. That is scary. That's really scary. It's impossible, I think, for any reasonable person to look past Man City, the way they're playing, and think that they're not going to win the league. It obviously could happen that they don't. There's still many more games to play. We're only just under a third of the way through the season, but I think they're going to win the league. Probably not a totally unreasonable suggestion right now, is it? Liverpool, Southampton really struggling again, falling down the table, 14th. And just not doing well. I don't think they had a shot, Southampton. I think that was one of the stats that came out of the game. It's shocking, really. Salah getting 2, Coutinho getting 1. Great performance, great goals from Liverpool, but a very poor Southampton side. Liverpool 4 points off second place. When you look at it, you've got to turn around and think these guys are battling for second now, or battling for these Champions League places. I couldn't tell you where these are going to end up, but we'll see, I guess. Chelsea winning 4-0. West Brom, Hazard putting on just a masterclass like he can. Really, really good. He hasn't had a very good season so far. Obviously, he was injured at the beginning, so took a time to get back. And a bit of time to warm up, I guess, but it looks like he's coming back into form. But he was phenomenal. Fantastic goals. Him and Morata look to be having a really good kind of understanding, a partnership, if you were. Morata now back from injury as well. Back in the goals in the last couple of games. Yeah, just really good. Really, really good. Things are looking up, I think, for Chelsea, but you do worry, though, again, a fairly thin squad, and if they do get injuries to Morata or Hazard or any of those guys, how well are they going to be able to compete? Now they are obviously third place at the minute, 1 point off second, 9 points off first, and have had 4 wins on the trot, good wins as well. Beat Man United, beat Watford. Bournemouth one was a bit of a labour, and then beat West Brom 4-0. So I think Chelsea are going to be in that battle for second. They're going to be right up there, I guess. Now, West Brom have sacked Tony Pulis. It's obviously a little bit, being a Palace fan, I'm not going to shed any tears bastard to our club, really, in a way. I guess it's all settled now because we did take him to court and we did take like 3 million off him, but he wasn't going anywhere with West Brom. I don't think he's a bad manager. I kind of hope he gets the Wales job, but West Brom are better off without him. I think you can be down near the bottom of the table with any manager nowadays. At least try and play some decent football. 4 losses in a row where, okay, the Man City one, they were very unlucky, but they're just such a boring team. They really are. I hope they get a good manager. They've been talking about, who did I see was linked with it? Allardyce, I think, was linked with it, which would be interesting. Although, I think Allardyce is a Wolves fan, and as a result, I don't think he would be interested in the game. But we'll see, I guess. But yeah, West Brom, they're going to struggle a little bit, I think, until they get that new manager. I don't know if they've got anybody lined up. I heard Gary Megson was taking over short term, which, I mean, it's going to be a tough one for them. Anyway, Man United back on form. Pogba back. Although I had a bit of a scare, Dwight Gale picking up a goal, to put Newcastle 1-0 up. Dwight Gale is a striker who I'm very fond of. He's an ex-Palace player. I think he's a very good striker. I've said this before, I don't think he is like a top Premier League striker, but I think he is like he's good enough for the Premier League, definitely. He proved that at Palace and he never quite got the chance at Palace, and I hope he gets the chance at Man United. It's Man United at Newcastle, sorry. I just looked at Man United and saw that. Pogba back though, obviously making a huge difference to them. So, we'll see how well they're back, because they looked really good though against Newcastle. They looked really interesting, and with Ibrahimovic coming off the bench, nearly scoring a quite spectacular goal. Sorry, that's my door. Nearly scoring a quite spectacular goal. It's it's looking good if they can keep those guys injury free. I don't know if they can have enough to challenge City, but we'll see, I guess. But very good. Lukaku scoring again, which is important, I guess. Watford 2-0 up. As I said, that Richarlison, I actually watched like the extended highlights of this, weirdly enough, because I thought to myself, I haven't watched a lot of Watford this season, and everybody's kind of raving about them, and I was like, I'm interested to see how well they play and what type of football they play, and they were really good. I really enjoyed them. Obviously West Ham were awful, just awful. Oh my god. West Ham were unlucky, I will say that much. Watford did get like the benefit of like some goal line clearances and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. David Moyes, I'm not a big fan of his. Obviously you have to get behind your manager, but that's not. I don't think that's a very inspiring signing as a manager. Will Hughes scored his first Premier League goal with his first shot. Anybody who's played Football Manager in the last few years will know Will Hughes as one of those like young English players who you always try and sign, turns into a pretty decent player, and hopefully he gets his chance now. I don't know. Yeah, he hasn't played apart from the last couple of games, so I hope they give him a chance. To kind of, I guess, show what he can do. But an assist and a goal, he's definitely going to be playing like the next game, you would think. Richarlison obviously getting the second with a really good goal as well. He looks very good. Brighton 2, Stoke 2. I guess a good result for both those teams, but probably Brighton doing well, still in 9th. But again, 7 points clear. I guess they're unbeaten in 5. Man United up next, which will be interested. But we'll see, I guess, where they're going to go from there. So next fixtures we've got going. So West Ham playing Leicester. I mean, I don't rate West Ham's chances. We'll see. Palace Stoke. We've got to win that game. We've got to beat Stoke. Stoke are rivals basically at the minute. I mean, they have a lot more points than us, but they are rivals if you like. Man United against Brighton be a great game. Watford Newcastle I think would be a really good game. Spurs West Brom, you gotta go for Spurs win there. I think looking at the fact that West Brom are playing Spurs, I'm gonna keep Kane as captain and Ali in the side this week. If Ali doesn't perform, I'll drop him next week I think. We'll move Otamendi back, obviously. Let's get rid of Gaz. Oh no. Sorry, my team. Swap him in there. Hopefully Mendes, Gomez will play. But yeah, he ain't gonna get any points against Tottenham, I don't think. That, by the way, that means he definitely will. And then I'll probably, I guess, drop Abraham and try and bring somebody else in. I don't know how many. I've only got 1.1, so I've dropped Abraham. That gives me 6.9 for a striker, which doesn't get you a lot in strikers, does it? I might have to drop somebody else. That's the question though. Who would I drop? I'd love to be able to bring Morata back in, but 10.5 I'd need to raise like a lot. I need to raise like 4 million. I haven't got anybody else I could do that with really, unless I drop Ali, bring in someone a lot cheaper, like say Richarlison, and it gives me 9.6. Doesn't give me enough for Morata. If Chelsea got Chelsea playing Liverpool, so maybe it's best they don't have that. Maybe we could go for Vardy, as they've got West Ham. It could be interesting actually. Vardy's got some decent points this season. I could see him getting some goals against West Ham. It's going to cost me 4 points, but I think I'm going to do that. Why not? Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm going to bank on. I'm going to make him vice captain. I'm going to keep Kane on as captain because I think he's going to get some goals against West Brom. I've got faith in Kane. Swansea, Bournemouth. That could be it's an important game. Swansea, down there. Bournemouth are scrapping their way out, doing very well at the minute. And I could be wrong about Bournemouth going down because I thought they would. Liverpool, Chelsea, I guess undoubtedly the big game. And then Southampton, Everton, both very struggling teams. That would be an interesting game. Burnley, Arsenal, another interesting game. And then a Man City win. Not much more to say about that, is there? So yeah, I think I'll do that. I think that's my team going into next week. Let me know what you think. Dropping Ali, he just hasn't played well recently. So we'll see, I guess. But anyway guys, thanks for watching as always. It's been my pleasure. And I'll catch you next week. See you soon.